Allie. Join me as I show you how to make these fun Dubai earrings, which the camera and the green screen do not do justice, so make sure you keep watching. If you need any materials to do these fancy Dubai earrings, which could also be a pendant if they're a little bit big for you, look below the video in the description. In the description area is where we put the link to get back to our website, which lists all the materials, and then you can see if you want to do it in different colors as well. Gather up your supplies and let's get started. So to begin this earrings, we have some PieDuos along with some RounTrios and some SuperDuos, along with a 12mm Rivoli, some 2mm and some 11/0 seed beads. This can easily be a pendant as well if you don't want the big fancy Dubai earrings. That's completely up to you. We are going to begin actually with our pattern here of our SuperDuos, RounTrios, and our PieDuos. I have a stop bead on the base of my green dragon thread size 8. And I'm going to begin with a SuperDuo that goes into the PieDuo. Once you get at the top of the PieDuo, add an 11/0, a 2mm crystal 11/0. I'm topping it with that pretty green color. Coming back down the PieDuo then, I'm going to come out the bottom there, so towards that carrot side, add another one of my purple SuperDuos here. Then after that, I'm going to add an 11/0 seed bead along with a RounTrio, along with an 11/0 seed bead, and then start the pattern again. SuperDuo up through that PieDuo, drop that down, 11, crystal, 11, and down through. I'm going to repeat this pattern until I have on 4 of my RounTrios as well as 4 of my PieDuos. After the last RounTrio, I'll show you how we're going to combine it and turn it into the circle to create our bezel. Once you have your last RounTrio on, you want to make sure to add an 11/0. And I should have mentioned, just not to take for granted the knowledge, that you should be going through one of the exterior holes of the RounTrios. The RounTrio has 3 holes, so you want to skip over that middle hole. Once you have that pattern onto your thread and needle, we are going to come back and we are going to round it out. The way that we are going to round it out is basically to take off that stop bead a little bit. We're going to tie this into a knot. Right over left, left over right. Tying it into a loop. And then as we tie that into a loop, we're going to sew through that next SuperDuo bead that was the first one that was on our piece up into the PieDuo to lock it in place. When you come out through the top, go ahead and go through your seed beads and go through your crystal without creating a loop like I just did. Once out through the crystal, I want you to grab one more SuperDuo bead, one of your 11/0s, and we are going to do a pattern of 11/0 SuperDuo. Grab your wire guard. We're going to add this right away. Go down through the wire guard on the opposite side. Add your thread and needle through that SuperDuo, and we'll come back and reinforce that as well. Add on one more 11/0 seed bead. Go back into the opposite side of that green 2mm crystal. From here, I'm going to go down the other side here of my RounTrio mini, or sorry, my PieDuo. And then we're going to go through our SuperDuo. And we are going to go through that first hole of the SuperDuo, and then we're going to step down. We're going to go into the bottom hole of that SuperDuo. And we are going to go around and connect to our third hole of our RounTrio and our second hole of our SuperDuo beads. Going through here, I'm going to grab one 11/0, sew into the next SuperDuo. Then I'm going to grab one 11/0 and sew into the next hole of the RounTrio. Progressing around the piece the whole way, one 11/0, catch on to that next SuperDuo, one 11/0, into the next SuperDuo. So basically what we're doing is we're bringing the SuperDuos and the round trios in towards the center of the design. Go ahead and add an 11-0 between each one of those and catch on again to that second hole of the SuperDuo, as well as the third hole, or the most interior hole now, of the trio. As you finish up making your bezel, I'm adding my last 11-0 seed bead, and then I'm sewing back through the first SuperDuo, 11 SuperDuo, and kind of locking that in place. You'll notice a formation starting to occur that has it kind of built towards the top. Embrace that. What we're going to do now is we're going to add some seed beads that go basically over top of our round trios. Come out the 11-0 before the round trio that you just added. Add 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 11s. Then you're going to skip over the next round trio and sew through the 11 SuperDuo, 11 SuperDuo, 11, and out. After doing so, add your 5 seed beads to kind of wrap around there, and you're going to do that to all 4 sections. Once you're done, go ahead and get ready to bring your thread and needle out through that center of the 5 beads on that first row that you did coming up along the piece. So after coming through and kind of locking it in place, here's where I'm saying we're going to go up through those first 1 that's before the SuperDuo, between the SuperDuo and the round trio. Then you're going to go up through beads 1, 2, and 3 of the 5 that you just added. You can see again that kind of shape starting to take place. That gives it that nice open area for our crystal to sit inside of. The first row we're going to do is our 11, 4, 11, and then we're going to do another row of 11, 4, 11 in our pink crystal color that's going to sit separately from that. So the first row that we're doing is 11, crystal 11, and you're going to go over to that next round trio group of seed beads that sits in front of it and through the middle seed bead. So when we added the seed beads, we added them in groups of 5. We're connecting to seed bead number 3. Seed bead number 3 here, which sits in the center. Seed bead number 3 here. That sits in the center. And then 1 more of our green crystals to sit, going through again that central bead. Once we're through there and we have that little netting right there of the crystals, we're going to decorate the kind of open hole that sits below the PieDuo. To do so, I want you to go back now through those 2 seed beads, remember that group of 5, and come out right before or right after that group of 5 seed beads. Here is where we're going to pick up just that pink crystal a little bit. I'm going to do 11, pink crystal, 11, hop over to the opposite side here above the crystal, and you're going to go down through beads 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to go up beads 4 and 5, bring your thread and needle out, and repeat. So we're filling in that empty gap basically, and then once again over to the other side, going through, filling these in, and up, circling around and through. We do this a total of 4 times. If you don't want to do this portion, you don't have to. I liked the extra little bling here, but you don't need it. It's not necessary. Coming down then this opposite side. And through. And then over to this side and up. Once again, seed bead, crystal seed bead, down through those 2 on this side. And then we are going to continue down through those 2. Once I'm down through those 2 last 11-0 seed beads here, we're also going to go down through the seed bead after and out through the next one of our SuperDuos. And see how that just kind of brings that extra little flare to the front. And we have now a nice little bowl, basically, for our crystal to sit inside of. So I'm currently coming out of one of my SuperDuos. I'm going to push my thread from the front towards the back of the project, not sewing through anything, just bringing it out towards the back. And I'm going to sew through the beads. So I'm coming out once again through my RounTrio bead along the back. We're going to drop the crystal in place there. It just hangs out right in the middle. And then we're going to form this netting that's going to pull it in even tighter. Again, I want my thread and needle to get to the point here where it is coming out through my RounTrio. So if you need to, you can do it along the front or kind of pull to the back where you can see it. I'm going to go into that RounTrio through that center or most close hole. And then we're going to once again add 5 beads. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our 11 seed beads into the next first hole or the most interior hole of the RounTrio. By the time you get your third one in there, you're going to want to drop your crystal in. And then our last thing is just adding 3 more beads between bead or catching on to bead number 3, just kind of like we did the front, but pulling that towards the center. Once you're done your group of 5 seed beads, I'm getting ready to kind of drop my crystal in there, just push it in. I'm going back up through beads 1, 2, and 3 in that first grouping of my netting of 5 beads that I just caught on or just sewed on. Bring my seed beads over here a little bit closer. 1, 2, 3 beads get added. Go over to your next group of 5 seed beads. Sew through just that center third bead there. Pull that towards the middle. 1, 2, 3 beads up towards that center bead there, through the middle. Move my end of my thread. Remember that end of thread is knotted, so you actually don't even really need to worry about it much. Pull up that grouping of 5 beads, sew through bead number 3, 1, 2, 3 seed beads, back into that first group there that our thread was originally coming out of. Pull nice and tight and see how that netting just fits perfectly. If you're not crazy about the seed beads on the side, you could also make this the front and flip the crystal around. No rules that say which way it has to be. All I want to do now is reinforce that back because it is that bezel. So I want to make sure that that's not going to open or my thread's not going to have any compromising. So I'm going to re-sew through those 3 beads that I just added, as well as that middle third bead from my previous row of my netting. And then I'm going to bring my thread and needle so they meet up here. Simply tie the thread and needle off and add my ear wire. So getting my thread ends to the same place here. It's a good idea too to take your thread when it's coming back here and reinforce up along that wire guard. You're just going to once again tie a knot right over left, left over right. Go in with your thread burner. Burn down those thread edges, heating it up, burning through. My thread burner is in desperate need of a new battery. Burn those thread edges down. I got to go grab one of those. And then we're going to open up our ear wire. When you open up your ear wire, you want to make sure that you are opening it to the side. So you're going to turn it to the side rather than pulling back so you maintain that same loop section. A little bit further. Drop it on. Close it up. And there you go. Fancy for your next flight and trip to Dubai. Thanks so much for joining me in creating these fun Dubai earrings. I love the different way that you can use beads that are different shapes, pull them together, and almost create a little geometric, beautiful piece. Remember, if you don't have all the beads and you want to go to Dubai, go ahead and look below the video so you can get links to get back to our site. Post your photos of your Dubai earrings in your colorways in our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. As always, thanks so much, Potomac Beaders, for watching, and stay tuned for more inspirational designs.